I don't often like talking about bad news, but this time I just couldn't help myself because Microsoft decided to do something dumb. They decided to remove a very old editor that has been shipped with every single Microsoft version, which is a program called Wordpad. In case you don't know what that is, you can open up the search bar and type in Word and then it should show you the program, Wordpad. If you click on this, it opens up very fast. That is one of the big things about it. This is a very simple text editor that Microsoft added to Windows a very long time ago. Programming. Microsoft kills Wordpad.
There's only a handful of people in this world that I think can appreciate or really even just understand the beautiful...
I actually have been using Wordpad to write some stuff. I like it, to be honest. Like you do the Windows key, and then you do Wordpad. Boom, start, and you make this a little bigger if you want to, and then you say, this just works. And I wonder if it does have build. It does have the Diablo font in there as well. For those of you who don't know what this is the Diablo font. And this editor is great. It has everything that you want, and it doesn't have any fancy bullshit that you don't need.
So when I was going to school, probably around 6th grade, we started doing most of our writing assignments on the computer. In fact, I think the schools started getting like some new computers around that time, and I think like my first standardized test was around that time too, like the first one that was on a computer. But anyway, we started doing more assignments on the computer, and I really liked that because I had crappy handwriting. I've always had really crappy handwriting, and I think around 5th or 6th grade was also when I started playing RuneScape, or RuneScape 2, you know, what
I
people
never
would
played
call
that
old
game,
school
man.
RuneScape today.
Now that's some actual content here.
That really got me learning how to type well, like to actually know where the keys were without looking.
Oh, he means like the 10-finger typing. Yeah, you learn that in gaming. You don't learn that doing assignments in school. You learn that in an MMO because you're starting to shit on people. So, you know, fuck is the first thing that you learn, and noob and GG, you know, stuff like that. And L2P, learn to play, you know, so stuff like that. That's how you start.
At it, and I'm not sure how many words per minute I type, but you know, I got pretty good because it's got RuneScape has this whole chat feature, and you know, it's a very social game. And most of the kids in middle school at that time, I think, were still faster with like pen and paper or pencil and paper, but I was the opposite, right? I was faster at creating text on a computer than with a pen and paper. Now at my school, all of the computers had Microsoft Word on them, right? They were all Windows computers, probably.
Yeah, that's what we had in school too. We all used Microsoft Word in school, and I don't know how we got Microsoft Word at home. I think my parents had it, or we got it from school somewhere.
XP at the time. And you would save your documents,
shouting great commands mid-fight,
like
pick
doc
up groups
files, and then later on it would be .docx files when that became the new standard in Word. But at first, I'm pretty sure it was .doc.
And everyone's a toxic cunt.
That's all well and good, right? These, you know, those file formats, because then those files could be opened on any other school computer. But when I got home, right, like if it was a project that I worked on in school and then brought home, I didn't have Microsoft Word on my laptop, and my parents didn't have any copies that they could give me either, and they certainly weren't going to go buy me a copy of Microsoft Word for middle school. But luckily, before I stopped killing rock crabs and logged off on my computer, I tried opening up the project in Wordpad, and I was relieved to see that it loaded without any issues. And I was able to keep working on the project and even save it back into a .doc file to continue working on it at school later. Now, of course, Wordpad wasn't a true Microsoft Word replacement. It didn't have nearly as many formatting options. You couldn't insert images into
what would
your
happen
documents,
if you
I'm
had
pretty sure.
formats from
It didn't have built-in
Word?
spell check or grammar check, but Wordpad was literally my first ever comfy text editor. And just like...
So just a point on the, you know, why he says comfy. The reason why I think this is comfy is because it doesn't have those options. Those special options that you don't use 99% of the time. It's just like Paint. It just works. And you don't need more, usually. You have all of the basic features. That's it. You know, picture, paint drawing, everything. Very, very simple. No, dude, that's your spectrum speaking. I like options. Yeah, listen, I'm not saying it is for everyone. I'm saying it is for the majority of people. Most people still use Paint. Why do they do that? Well, because it just works. And unfortunately, as with everything that just works, Microsoft has to remove it or make it terrible by adding in a bunch of features that you don't need. The biggest problem being that these old applications, in my opinion, they function very well because they don't have as much dependencies as the newer versions of Word or whatever you use from Microsoft. You don't have to log into any account that you have to create beforehand, and then it connects to the internet just to download a bunch of features and maybe even share your data with Microsoft. It doesn't do any of that because it's just there to do the one thing that it's supposed to do, which is edit text. And unfortunately, Microsoft is removing it in the future, probably in Windows 12. I don't think they will update Windows 11 with an update, but I could be wrong here. So in case you want to save it, because if you're using it or not, it is very simple. You just have to go into the program files and then you look for Windows NT and then you can find accessories and you can see the path right here. It is C, program files, Windows NT and accessories. And this is where you can find Wordpad. If I copy the accessories and just put it on the desktop here and then go over here and double click Wordpad, it just opens up. Yeah. Point being that you can just save it to your USB stick and then just use that in the future Windows versions if you don't want to pay for Word.
Modern Microsoft has decided to kill it off because of their own...
Why is Wordpad being removed from Windows without a viable replacement? So it has been announced that Wordpad will be removed from Windows in a future update. What is this being? Of course, are you being dumb? Why is this even a question? How can they sell Microsoft Word when there is an editor that ships with Windows that lets you open and save Word files? It's on my machine. I just looked. Yeah, it ships with Windows. You have it on every... If you have Windows, then you have it. Yeah. And people do not want to download LibreOffice from the internet, you know, to use that. No, they want to use something that is already on the system, like Paint. Now, think about it. Everyone is probably going to pay for Word, though the normal people will not hassle with this. They won't even know that you can do this, and they will start buying Microsoft Word. Maybe they won't, maybe no one is using it, but I have a feeling that just like Paint, many people rely on this program because it's simple and fast. And that's a little bit sad.
So if we take a look on learn.microsoft.com, they have this page called Deprecated Features for Windows Clients. Okay. And, you know, deprecating some of these features makes some sense, right? Like TLS 1.0 and 1.1, that's really outdated and insecure. So it makes sense to me for newer versions of
Wordpad is no longer being updated and will be removed in a future release of Windows. We recommend Microsoft Word. Of course you do. For rich text documents like doc and RTF, and Windows Notepad for plain text documents like TXT files.
Gotcha, bitch!
If you take a look at the size of this folder, it is barely 3.22 megabytes. Now, obviously, this executable right here is most of the program, and it could load a couple of DLL files from Windows. But if you take a look at this, this is very small in size. There's no reason to remove it, of course.
It doesn't take up very much
to the same
space
conclusion
on your computer, not that Microsoft actually cares about software bloat in the first place. And, you know, it doesn't matter that...
To be honest, it probably doesn't take much. Let's see, how much does it take? Wordpad. I'm pretty sure you can go here and then open the file location. And then once you're here, you open the file location again. This is probably everything. Under accessories, you say. Okay, Windows NT accessories. Hey guys, how much is Microsoft Word? Who in chat here has Microsoft Word installed on their system? How much? It's literally just the executable. So it's everything in the game. This is so good. This is so fucking... They put everything in this. And this is just the German and English text. And what do you call localization? Holy, this is such a great program. It's crazy. What? There's no way that's 2 gigabytes. 4? And the craziest thing about this is, since they are saying in their post that they're removing bloat, right? We are trading a, let's say, 3 to 4 megabyte folder that contains everything you need with a 4 gigabyte huge program. Now, obviously, it contains Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, all of those typical Microsoft Office applications. However, Word is a big part of that, and having to have 4 gigabytes of RAM and 4 gigabytes of available disk space just to run this. You can talk about bloat reduction here. It is simply just a way of increasing the sales for Microsoft Office in general, and it's obvious, right? So my whole point here is the following. This program right here was made by programmers that actually knew what they were doing before Microsoft blew up into this big ass corporation that you know of it today. And so this program right here is not only very small in size, but also very efficient. Look, let me show you. Don't save. Let's open that. It opens up instantly. Boom, it's there. It's a perfect program, literally. For anyone using this, or, you know, writing a lot of text, boom, perfect program, opens up fast, closes fast, probably never hangs or lags. The Word executable is only 1.4 megabyte, but it's basically just a launcher, and the app is actually spread through a ton of DLLs. Yeah, see, this is the problem. This is exactly the problem. The bloat that has happened with Microsoft. It's because the newer programs, or apps, they call them now, they rely on way too many libraries and things that are actually not really important, which slows them down, of course.
And of course, Microsoft Word, the program that they're recommending you install instead, that costs money. You've got to pay for, I think it's either a yearly or a monthly subscription, and you got to have a Microsoft account.
You are paying yearly to have that bloat on your system. It's insane. Oh my god. People will buy this, of course. It will ramp up the sales 100%. But again, obviously, that's going to happen.
Of course, you can also use the online tracking version, yeah, I mean, that requires an internet connection and a Microsoft
But they already do that.
There's so many hoops you have to jump through just to create a frickin' document on Windows. Like, I can't imagine that Wordpad would have actually taken any serious market share away from Microsoft Word. Like, I really doubt Microsoft was competing with themselves in that regard.
No, I think you're wrong. I think you underestimate how many people use this. However, he might be right. It took me a while to understand that this was part of Windows. You know, when you type in Word, it comes up as the first result. However, I never really used it. It was always there. I just downloaded LibreOffice. Not sure why, but I did. I thought it was a dumb editor. I didn't like it in the beginning because it wasn't cool enough. Maybe the icon looked bad, something. I'm an idiot, you know. So yeah, works fine for me. It's free. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad.
Linux distro, which will give you all the tools you need for editing documents.
Is this guy advertising Linux right now? This entire video now feels like an ad. Like some great storytelling, a small little problem pointing out, and after that, after he's done, he's advertising for his Linux. Did we just watch an ad, a 10-minute ad? Is this the build-up? Was he cooking this entire time? Oh, great. Now, the advertisement about Linux Mint at the end here of the video is A normal person will not do that. Now, obviously, there's a lot of programmers out there that really like Linux and like using Linux. Nothing against Linux. Listen, I don't like it. You can do whatever you want. It's not my operating system. I'm a Windows main and I will always be a Windows main. However, still sad to see that Microsoft is so stupid that they remove these very efficient old applications that have been made by professional programmers. Back in the day when Microsoft was new and fresh, there were very good programmers there that made Paint. Obviously, Paint is not perfect, but it still functions to this day. It's still there. It runs very fast. And it just works. Same with Wordpad. There's so many applications on the Windows system that are being replaced by bloated, too big applications that do too many things at once. And yeah. Anyways, just wanted to talk about this. Hope you have a good day and I'll see you all next time. Peace.